Give me 1 second, y'all. Just trying to see if Mike is in here with me. It doesn't look like he's here quite yet. So we'll just start. Oh, hold on. We have here. Okay, he's coming. Hold on, guys. Why can't I take this off? Can y'all see me? Hold on a second. I'm trying to take it off, but I can't. Let's just pull this. There we go. All right, Mike will be here shortly, y'all. It's just me. We're starting off with just me, y'all. Yes, Mike's late. Can you hear me? No, I know it's in front of my face. I thought Mike was coming in. He sent me a text message, but he's not ready yet. But he should be here in a second. He is traveling. Can you hear me, Mel? Because I'm on a new mic and I can't tell if anyone can actually hear me, which is crazy. I can't even hear myself. So let me know if you can hear me. If not, then we will go without the mic. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb because my phone will start going off in a heartbeat. You can hear me? Okay, cool. Welcome everybody. I got some more people who are coming in soon. We had just left the live and everybody's going to be heading over soon. But tonight we're talking about dating. Not relationships, but dating. We're talking about like dating 101. We don't want to know what everybody's do's and don'ts. Like, so the things that you would do, the things that you wouldn't do, the things that you suggest, maybe things that you picked up. Everybody knows that dating has changed. Um, over time, right? So like what we used to do, we don't really do anymore. And we've had to alter it. And then most of us are like of a certain age, and so we still don't do the same things like we might have done in college. But we've all learned things, right? So we've learned stuff over time. I was just talking in the last live. It kind of like bled over from the the live that we had last week where we spoke about size, and they were talking about that as one of their dating um, dudes before they even get into a relationship with someone. They want to see it. Like they're like, drop it, drop your pants. I want to know if I'm about to waste my time. Not Mike is fired. I'm not drinking, and here's why I'm not drinking. I'm putting this up here, Mo, just so Mike gets. I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking because immediately after this, I actually have to drive back to my hometown. I'm gonna go see my parents. So I can't drink tonight. I can't. Hopefully everybody's coming through soon. I just sent invites out to everybody, so I know they're gonna be like popping in slowly. And Mike is on the road. Want to see? Oh yeah. So you know, it's like drop your pants. I need to see how big it is. Like that was the consensus that most people were just like, no, that's one of their dues when they're dating. Like before they actually decide to get to know someone, they need to know if they're wasting their time because if it's small, like they were like, nobody wants to start liking and caring about somebody and then you see it and it's small. And then somebody also had the argument that they don't necessarily like, it doesn't have to be the biggest. Right. And that was their point. They were like, it doesn't have to be the biggest, but if they know what they're doing with it. Because I know that there are some men out there that have big ones, but they don't know what to do with it. Like they just stab me. They don't know what they're doing. So the size is not necessarily like my main concern, but I do get why it's important. Like you don't want to be like surprised. Oh, Mel, was it you? No, wait, was it you who sent me that one? The video, or was it Simone? Somebody sent me the video where they were ranking a man's soft side.
I'm here.
Like,
Can you hear me? Can you
I
hear me
can hear
well?
you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, look, I just want to show you something real quick.
Okay.
Do you see the comment on the screen?
Listen, the reception and everything, all the stuff that's going on here is pretty. It's pretty crappy. So
Well, have you made it? Have you made it like safely?
No, no, no. I'm not there yet. I'm
You're
still
still in the
on
car.
the road.
Okay. Well, at least you're here. That's all that matters. I was just telling everybody about how, everybody being mail right now because I still have people coming over. Everyone was like, send me the link, and they're heading over. So I'm just waiting for people to slowly start to pile in. You know what I mean? Simone wants to come over because I was talking to her just not too long ago about last week's show about size, and that came up because she said one of her dating tips is see the size of the penis first. She doesn't have time to waste time. Like that's her thing. She's
Dating
like,
tips is seeing the size of a penis. That's one of her
yes,
dating tips.
yes. She was like, tell them to drop their pants immediately because she needs to know. Like that's her thing. She needs to know before she wastes her time and gets to know you if you have a small one or not. But I mean,
Okay, I got you. I mean, hey,
everybody's
whatever,
got,
whatever floats her boat.
hey,
That's all that matters.
right. To each his own, and whatever works. Let's turn this picture on.
All right.
So I
Is
do
it is
have
it a
because
lot
I
of noise
have
coming through on my end?
no, actually not at all.
Okay. All right.
It actually doesn't sound like a lot, at least not to me. And I don't hear any extra noise. I just hear you. But Mel,
Okay,
so
I
I was
got you.
also telling Mel about and here's what me and Mel were saying. She was like, she doesn't need to see the size, Mel. She just needs to know what they do with it. She wants to try it out, which I get. That makes sense to me too. But Mike, I'm gonna have to send it to you. There's this video that I think Simone sent to me where they had these guys, like 7 men, and they were ranking them or putting them in the order of size by their hard size and their soft size, right? And one guy, like the smallest guy, was like at his soft size was 2.5 inches soft, and I
What?
the immediate giggle. No, really, I got to send it to you. I watched it actually, how they fell asleep, and they said, wait, what now? But how would they feel if they said, listen, I get it. So hopefully they come on in because I need to know. Like these are questions that we need to ask. But that is what she does. Don't laugh, Mike, at the 2.5, but legitimately. So they had these 7 guys. Originally, the guys put each other in order of how they thought it was going to fall smallest to biggest, and then they let them go in a back room and someone measured them, soft and hard, and their circumference. Okay, all that. But they
Okay.
came back out, and then the lady was like, okay, let me put you in order of who's the smallest. So she called everybody's name, and they go from smallest
Mm-hmm.
to biggest.
All right.
And then they would have to read out the size. The poor guy who was the smallest, soft, he was 2.5 inches. Okay. Which is crazy. Okay. Crazy. The largest was 4.5 inches. Soft. Then they went to hard size, and the guy who was the smallest hard size, soft size, his hard size. Everybody brace yourself, okay? Mike, I know we talked about what the average size was last time. He was less than the average. His hard size was 4.8 inches.
Oh shit. Okay. So
Okay,
he's
so
below average, basically, like extremely. That's crazy.
yes, but what's even crazier is that before they even started, he said he works in a hospital and a lot of times he has to see, people's, junk. And he was like, he felt like he was kind of above average. Excuse me? Like you thought that your 4.8 was above average? Crazy to me. But I get that.
You gotta
Right,
be at
not
a. You gotta be at, what is it? 5 inches to not too much on my man's. Who your man's? This guy that got the 4.5.
right. 4.5 is her man's. She's
Like,
rooting for, listen, but Mel,
hold on, hold
let
on,
me
hold
just
on.
say this. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead. Because I was about to
No,
say, Mel, Mel, she's saying that, but I'm like, no, you gonna let him? You gonna, I don't know. That's if
Mel,
that's a homie then. But would you go for a
Mel, you
4.5? Is that good enough for you?
right. Are you trying to tell me that if Mr. 4.8 came to you and he pulled down his pants, you would be like, let's do it? He hit the G spot every time. The accuracy was
Oh, so
like,
this is a thing that actually happened. So you prefer 4.8. All right. Well, all right, listen. It is what it is. I got you
no,
now.
you might be right though. You might be right.
4.8. It is what it is.
There might be a level of accuracy that he possesses, right? I get it. I get it. I do
So
understand.
let me ask you this
Um,
question, right? Imagine like
mhm.
so a person obviously with a bigger size compared to a person with a smaller size. Do you think they spend too much time trying to make you now? This is just a genuine question. Do you think they spend too much time trying to, utilize all their size on you, or like do you think like compared to a smaller person, like do you think they spend too much time trying to please you in a certain way because they know like they packing, so they like, oh, I'm gonna just sit here and do this and make her crazy.
So my personal opinion is it just depends on how confident you are in what you're able to do. Like you can be a man who has a lot of size, but you know that you know how to please a woman, so you're not going to overdo it. You know just what you're doing. Now, a man who may not know what he's doing, but he has the size, he might be doing a lot of extra. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't really know what it takes. Like a man who might know
Right.
what it takes, he knows he's got the size and he knows what he's doing. So he doesn't have to like, oh, hold on. Oh, Mel, why weren't you here last week? Like this is what we needed to hear. Mel said the bigger, the trashier. I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. Trashier how, Mel? Like how trashier? In what way? I need to know.
Yeah, you definitely need to answer that one. That she says medium, no, he's small, so he got to show up.
She's so crazy. So you're saying like if he has like a medium size, he gonna do the most, and that might it's not the most necessarily in a bad way, but he gonna really put in some extra effort because he knows that he might be lacking a little bit. I guess I can understand that logic. I can understand that. It's crazy, but I can understand it. Hi, Tori. How are you? For everybody who's here, thank you for being here. If you guys say yep, because for everybody that's here, please go ahead and like, and also if you guys could share it out to everybody and let them know that we're on and we're live. Um, because like legitimately, I need to there's some questions that I have, and honestly, I thought that I could pull them up here. I'm gonna see. I probably can still do it for a second. I just have to. I thought that it would automatically share from my iPad to my phone, but I might just have to go grab it and send it over here. Um, big ones just be okay. Mike, do you see this? Big ones just be like, look at me, crazy.
All right, I'm here. Hold on, Tori.
Not not
What
the
up, Tori?
just be like, look at me.
So,
That's wild.
Tori, we talking about we talking about size, and even though
Mm-hmm.
our this episode is about dating, we
Right.
are going backwards right now because Mel
Yes.
decided to not be here fully last week. So now we got to talk about medium
Right.
size penises versus bigger ones. And she said the medium ones are the ones that work best because they got something to prove. She said the big boys obviously they trash. They want to do too much. They just
That's
want to.
crazy, Mel.
I have heard women like people be thinking. I guess it's pleasing to a man if a woman is like yelling and screaming. I don't know. Like
The screaming, I
not
don't
on
I don't
me.
want to scream in pain. I don't want to scream in pain. I want to scream in pleasure
Well,
and
that does something
enjoyment.
to a
That's why
guy's
I said
ego.
I had to cap my size at a certain, like I can't go any bigger than a certain size because you ain't about to kill me. I'm not about to be not able to walk the next day in the hospital. Y'all are not about to do that. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm gonna send my questions to my phone real quick and then I'll pop right back on. Hold on.
She got to send herself the questions. Okay, we need to get our butts back to the topic at hand. Unless we still here. If we still here, then I'll shut my ass up and continue the topic.
Okay, I'm back. You guys see me?
Yeah,
I'm here. I just
yeah,
had my
yeah.
questions over.
Hmm.
Okay, but let's get back to the topic at hand, which is dating 101. I have lots of questions. I was sitting here thinking about all the possible things, and I knew that
Hmm.
we had to talk about dating into kind of two, we had to divide it into two different sectors, right? Both
Hmm.
traditional dating and what most people are doing now, which is online dating, whether it be through social media or like dating sites. Oh, Mel has our first tip of the day. Make sure he actually likes you. But that's a hard thing to do initially. I feel like that's something, Mel, that you're gonna like. You have to learn through time because anybody can
Hmm.
tell you anything. You know what I mean? But I mean, a valid point nonetheless. You do want to make sure that he likes you. But dating.
I got something to add to that, but go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So when it comes to somebody liking you, the trick
Uh-huh.
to that situation, so like the fun part about me and you having this conversation is that it
Mm-hmm.
isn't two men or two women talking about this. There's
Right.
differences. So I can
Yeah.
speak from a male's perspective.
Exactly.
When it comes to somebody liking you, they don't have to like you, but they're going to do whatever it takes to get something from you. Like that's the part
True.
that you like if we're going to keep it on a scale of just like getting to know somebody, genuine people, then yes, you're
Mm-hmm.
100% right. Like you got to make sure that the person like you. But on the tip that somebody see you, your body looking right, but they might not like who you
Yeah.
are as a personality. Like they, they, hey Simone, look,
There
she
she
popped up.
is.
There she go.
Right.
They might not like you, but they want something
Yeah.
from you. You know what I mean? Like so
True.
they see what they like physically out of you, even though they're not
Right.
mentally attracted to you. Like
Right.
that's the cap up when it comes to dating because now is it dating or is it that I'm just trying to find something to do now?
True. Like, I guess it's like a matter of finding out if someone's genuine. But you're right. So we're gonna separate this into. Well, maybe we won't separate it, but we'll think about it in both contexts. Like when we're talking about traditional dating versus dating, like with dating apps or dating online, which is how a lot of people end up meeting each other now. A lot of people don't really go out and put themselves in a lot of situations. I know me personally, I did. I don't, and I didn't. And traditional dating, kind of for a lot of people, is more taboo because most of us are online now. Um, Which wait, okay, so first of all, we're gonna give a shout out to Simone. Simone, we were just talking about you. I was just sharing your number one dating tip. Well, maybe not the number one, but the dating tip that we were just speaking about in the live before. Um, where your dating tip is you want to see it up front so that you're not wasting your time. See it up front. That was Simone's initial tip for everybody. See the tip. Her tip is to see the tip
See the
immediately.
tip. See the tip.
Simone's tip is look at the tip as
Look
soon
at
as
the
you
tip.
can. Get a chance to look at the tip.
Yeah, as soon as you
Mel
see
saying
it.
not really because they be telling y'all they don't. True.
What was that
Also
in
true,
reference
Mel.
to?
Listen, I think what you were saying.
Mm. Oh yeah, I can see it. When I go through this tunnel, I might get clicked off for a quick second, but I will be back if I go through and I go through that tunnel. But go ahead.
Simone says she needs to see it. This is
Needs to
one of
see
her
it.
main. Like that's a prerequisite for her. She got to see it ahead of time
Okay. You got
so
to
that
see
she
it in
doesn't
this.
end up.
You got to see it in an infant stage or or when it's grown
Right.
man.
Are you Simone? Are you looking for soft size or hard size when you want to see it?
Yeah.
Simone says she be like, drop your pants.
Mm, okay. What did Mel write?
She said, never been an exception. Like, don't you be the first out of their normal preference. What you mean, Mel? Maybe I'm
Never be an
lost.
exception. Like, don't be the first out of their normal preference. I think
Oh,
that's what
I get
she's.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like don't be the exception to their rule. That's a
Yeah.
good tip.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like if a man is like, I ain't never dated a plus size woman before, who told you it was about to start? Do you know how many men have approached me with that? I ain't never liked a big girl before. Okay, keep not liking us. Don't let me be the first. Or I ain't never been attracted to. I ain't never dated. Well, you ain't fixing to date one right now. I don't know who told you was getting ready to date one. I don't. Don't let me be something that you like. You're making an exception for. Like that's the worst thing that you can say to me. Like you're making an exception for me being a big girl.
Yeah, I
No,
think
you're
that's
not.
corny. That
So
is
you
definitely
don't
corny.
know.
Like,
Mel said, please don't show. Mel don't want to see it. Mel and Simone are on two very different wavelengths. Mel does not want to see it. Simone needs to see it, like right away, immediately up front. But like, don't tell
I
me
can't
that. Don't think like
imagine.
you're the exception.
I cannot imagine going out on a date and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" Give her a hug, like, so here, pull your dick out. You be like, "Hey,
Right.
what?"
But
Like,
I think
just
I
thrown
think
right
the woman was
off.
saying like before she even hit the date, she just want to see so that she doesn't waste her time. Because the thing is, she feels like why? And what if I get to like you and then I have feelings for you, and then by the time we start like getting to know each other, you got a
You
small
over there
you were
got the
2.5
baby.
soft. You got the
Okay.
2.5 soft.
Extra medium joint.
But can you imagine? Like, can you imagine? Like, I can't. Let's just say, you know how I was telling you that I usually deal with connection first and then I see it, like, then it matters. But I get it though, because let's just say I made a connection with somebody and he pulled out a 2.5. Now I got to figure out how to break this connection.
Listen, if y'all know, if y'all know basics, her standard, you got to be at least close to an 8, bro. You got to be an 8 somewhere around there, 7.5, 8.
Right. I
She said
need you
it.
to be I need you to be right around there. If you got him pulling it out up front, what won't that confuse the idea of dating? You
What's
know,
going
maybe
on? There you go. What's up,
potentially,
Rachel? Welcome to the show, Rachel. We
potentially
missed you.
it could. She said dating
Dating.
doesn't also equal sex in the future, and that is true. Listen, you very, very true. But
Yeah.
one thing that we say here at We Got Questions podcast is that everybody has an opinion and everybody has a preference for how things work for them, and so we cannot judge it. We can pose like opposing opinions, which is exactly what Rachel is doing. So we're not going to judge it. But I do like Rachel's point that necessarily sex is not always like that's not the next step in dating. Like dating is getting to know people. You know what I mean? Okay, Mel has another one. She says, "Don't date down."
Yeah, I agree. Don't date down. That's
Like in what
Gabby's.
ways? In oh, in what ways? Sorry. In what ways, Mel? Like don't date down. Like don't date someone who's like not on your level. Is that what you mean?
Oh, she was asking a question. Okay. She was asking that
Okay. Got it. Got
for
it. Got
that.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mel, are you meaning like not dating someone who's necessarily on your not on your level, or because that kind of goes to what we were talking about, kind of goes hand in hand what we were talking about, Mike, about what people bring
I
to the
agree.
table.
Listen, I was one to always think like date somebody regardless of the fact, but you do have to date somebody that's on a certain level with you, if not extremely close to where you're at, because that's where some people will you are. But trying to somebody who got that, say you, and it ain't about money. Let's just say your status in life, you got everything you need in your life, but the other
Yeah,
person don't. Sometimes that
yeah,
person might latch onto you to get the things that
right,
you have. So I agree with that. Like if you date down,
right,
you basically dating somebody who might not be able to help you out in certain situations. You know what I mean?
right.
You might be the sole provider of that person. So it's like raising another child.
Yeah. Or like
You
we
don't want to
talked
be doing
about,
that.
dating someone who is also trying to get to the same place that you're trying to get to. Like maybe you guys don't have necessarily the same things tangibly, but you're both working towards the same goals. You know what I mean? Like it is equally important that you both are financially stable. So you both are working to get to a financially stable place. You know what I mean? Like meeting someone on your level in the things that you're trying to work towards and the things that are important to you. I do believe in that. Like finding someone who equally finds it important that you guys both have the same levels of importance of how you're trying to improve your life and trying to work to get to a certain place. You know what I mean? Like we might not make the same thing, but financial stability is equally important to the both of us. So we're both out there hustling and hitting it and getting it done and trying to make money and bring it in. Like we don't have to have the same like income level, but both of us find work and being financially stable equally as important. So we're both working and it's important to the both of us. That's a
I
big
think
deal for
I'm
me.
going underground, so I will be right back. This is
Okay,
going to
all
kick me
right.
out. I'm going through the tunnel, so I'll be right back.
So I also want to ask, like, when you're just getting to know someone, right? Oh, we were just talking about, so Mel had some interesting points. Mel was talking about like what her dating things are, like don't date down, don't be anybody's exception, which I totally get because I hate when people be like, I don't usually date big girls, but I like you. No, you don't. Don't don't ever tell me I don't usually date big girls. You ain't gonna date one right now. Um don't let me, please don't let me be the one you doing a favor for. Don't date if you aren't financially stable. Okay, Bill. So I get what you're trying to say, but you trying to say all broke folks just don't go out, don't date nobody? What if you find? Who's saying facts, Bill? Don't date with a newborn. Oh, but what if it's like a new single mom and she just want to get out there and she still this bitch said. I'm sorry, Mel. Mel's killing me. She said, "Don't date when you need to be on LinkedIn." I'm dead. I get it, but I'm dead. Like, in real life, don't do it. Listen, but in just in only because I speak for everyone and I try to pose all the questions from all sides. How are we going to tell someone who who doesn't have a job but wants love that they can't date? Because what if they meet another like broke person and they just want to like take walks together, like, or what if they're just like we can build each other up together? What if they doing that? Because that could be a case. I know lots of broke people who are full-fledged in relationships.
Oh, I'm back. I don't know why I yelled.
I'm back. Got it. Okay, you here. We got it.
Nah, I'm back.
So, Mike,
All right, what was you saying?
we were
Mm-hmm.
just talking about. Mel was saying. Let me bring up Mel's comment because I love the way she worded it.
Okay.
Don't date when you need to be on LinkedIn. Basically, don't date if you aren't financially stable.
Ah, okay. Okay.
What are your feelings about that?
Um, I think that's just more or less where you at in your life for the people that's involved. If we're in our big ages, I mean that's a period thing, but I do think
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes I don't think that money necessarily means everything.
Right.
It's a great thing to have, obviously, but
Right.
I don't think that defines no cash, no cash, no cash. Where the fuck am I going?
Yeah.
Is this all no cash?
Well, maybe not like broke,
Huh?
but maybe just like
They just gonna send in the mail? All right. Sorry about that. I had
still
to run through
kind of
this.
like not financially in at the best place. Maybe that. Well, how do you feel about that? Because let's just say this.
Uh
I
huh.
said, girl, don't do it to yourself. Listen, let's just. And I'm not saying for me because I am not in a
Uh
place to take care of nobody. I'm not taking care of nobody. Not my child is 18. I'm not taking care of not another adult. Okay, so
huh.
for me, you have to have your own. Okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely not taking care of anybody else. But um, for some, I'm just saying that for some, maybe dating is not about like what a person is bringing financially to the table if they're in a
All right.
different headspace. You know what I mean? Like if you don't necessarily, if you're not looking for somebody who is bring if the thing that you're asking for somebody to bring to the table is not finances, then maybe that's not the thing that you're focused on. Dating with money is a different
Right.
experience.
She's silly. I'm gonna put it back. Oh, and at least a standard be grown. No, 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 no. Listen, let me clarify myself. What I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to say don't. I mean, do date. What I'm trying to say is sometimes people are in certain circumstances. So like um maybe that's a younger thing. That's not for your age now. For us now,
Right.
if you dating a person with no without no significant things in their life, then it ain't worth it. Nah, he got to
Right.
get himself together. She got to get herself together. But you always
Right.
run into people that want to martyr themselves for people and take care of them and stuff like that, where you
Yeah.
create more of a problem. You know what I mean? Like everybody isn't on the same wavelength as everybody else. So it's like, you know what I mean?
I get it.
I don't know. You do gotta go out and get your own. Like you gotta go out and
Yeah.
be able to take care of yourself. It's just yeah, you gotta take care of yourself. Let's put it like this.
Yeah.
It ain't because like I said, it's not about money for me. It does mean everything in a certain way, but like that only creates happiness for people who don't really care about certain things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but what happens when you have a person that got money, but they want love, attention, all this other stuff, like,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't provide that side of something for you. What is good is the money at that point? Because, and I'm not speaking for a person who likes just their alone time and their i.e. MEL, but you know, uh, I'm just saying that in the sense of like if you have a person who likes attention and likes to be loved and time and
Mm-hmm.
effort and certain things like that, and they can't give that part of it, but they can give you, you know, $200. Like at this point, you're gonna take the money and be y'all gonna be out there. You're gonna find somebody else that can get that for you. You're gonna grab the money from this person and be finding something else. So like, I'm just saying that to say like you ain't getting the full picture. You're only getting a piece of this picture.
Well, date on your wavelength. So listen, I both of you have good points. I agree, and I see where both of y'all come from. Simone has made some good points. Like, if you are broke, I get it. Like, I think that I have been in a place where I was like, I don't want to date, and like, I don't want to be in a relationship. Like, there was times when I was younger, where I was like, I don't know if I'm ready. I'm not bringing a certain thing. Like, I was doing not that well financially. I had a job, but I wasn't
Mhm.
where I wanted to be, and it really
Right.
did make me reconsider putting myself out like there to people, because I was like, I don't, not that somebody was going to need me for my money, but I didn't feel where like I was where I needed to be, and so it also made me feel like maybe I wasn't bringing my full potential to the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not to say that my partner was going to be like, what's your 401k?" But because I didn't feel like I was doing what I needed to do or wasn't on the level that I personally needed to be, I didn't want to throw myself out there feeling like I wasn't putting myself on, on a appropriate level. Broke is
Right.
stressful. So broke is real stressful. So if you always like worried about money and you don't feel up to your full capacity. I
Right.
know I don't. And I
You're
know
right.
that I have felt and not in a place where I was ready to date because I wasn't doing my best financially. And it had nothing to do with what I was going to be able to give somebody else. It was me. I was
Right.
not at my best. And
Right.
so I didn't feel like I was at the best place to be dating other people.
Yeah. Okay.
She said, Mel said, I don't need you mad at me because I'm eating out and you got ramen. I can't. Right. He spelled your name out, Mel.
I
Okay.
damn sure
So
did, and I apologize. I was just trying to be exclusive.
so these are some base rules, right? But let's start from the
Uh,
beginning. Okay.
right.
When you're dating and you're just getting to meet a person, um what are the things that you take into like that initial meeting? Like, I want to know, like, what are the things that you don't want to hear that other person talk about when you're just getting to know them? Like when y'all are on that initial, hey, let's get to know each other and starting the process. What is some of the worst things that a person can do in that initial like
So,
those first couple days?
so say that last part again for me.
Like when you're just getting ready to know someone, like y'all are
Okay.
just meeting, maybe going out on your first date, what is some of the
Yeah.
worst things that a person can do that can turn off the whole process of you wanting to see them again? Like, what? This too much time. Simone, would you like for me to send you a link so that you can come up here and be on the screen with us? Just let me know because I can do that.
Yeah, come on
Um,
through, Simone, because I might get kicked out. She could definitely use another face on her.
right. What is there any specific thing that you like? Let's say you've been out on a date and someone and the person just started talking about something or doing something and it completely turned you off.
I know exactly what it would be. I think
Where are you
not
at?
being go
Simone said, if it's too little, I can't. All right.
ahead. She just need to see it. Like
I'm about to send them both invites so they can hop up
Simone.
here because I need to know. But go ahead, Mike.
So I think that is more or less not paying attention to me and you. So it's like when you focus on like let's say we out and you see another guy or whatever the case is, you start focusing on hyper focusing on them. I ain't got no issue with it, but just don't hold me up. You know, peeking and staring at other people and all that because it make me think you're not paying attention to us. That's one of my biggest flaws, or biggest problems for somebody I'm trying to get to know. Like if you're just sitting there staring at everything else but me, that's an issue.
Like focusing on everything around you, but not actually you. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like everything else. Like you're sitting there, you know, looking at it. Like let's say we out and you staring at some guy or something like that. Even though that don't happen, I'm just saying I
Right.
think that would do it for me. Like, or
Hey,
you know, you
hey.
just paying attention to someone else. Francesca.
Listen, that's fantasy.
Ah,
That's
fantasy. Yeah,
fantasy.
she need to
Mel,
come on
you just
through.
made a couple of points. So, don't she said don't talk about your kids or your family or your exes. Mel, for me, like on a first date, I feel like those are things that like I might mention my daughter in passing, like something random, but not specific. Like we're not talking about what I did with my kids and my life story. I feel like there you can be too personal in the initial meeting, and it's a super big like turn off. I feel like we should start talking about that once we actually start dating. You know what I mean? Don't tell me about what happened with your exes, especially if this is our first or second time like dating. I don't want to hear about them. I don't care nothing about them. Don't tell me about your exes. I don't want to hear nothing about that. I don't want to know like what they did, why it didn't work out. If you want to tell me that later, okay. But like when I'm just now getting to know you, I don't want to know about that. Like
Yeah,
fuck that.
don't volunteer that information. It should be something that should be brought up in conversation. Like if we're talking and we're saying, you know, having conversation and saying, so you know, how'd your last relationship go? Because to me, that's important to me. I'll explain why
Did,
once you've done your point. Go ahead.
did the link really not work, Mel? Or do I need to send you a new link, or are you just trying to not come up here? Which one do you think it is, Mike?
Mm, her cash app ain't looking a cash app looking a little funny, so you know she like
um, we're talking about like dating, like your dating do's and don'ts. Fantasy. We want to know like what are the things
oh
that turn
fantasy would
you
be
off.
perfect for this. Come on through fantasy.
What are
That's
the
the
things
homie right there.
that you
Because
don't right that you don't want somebody to do that would
she
turn
start
you
talking
off?
in
I think I
Spanish and
also
shit, and
said I put like don't get too personal on the first date. Also, here's another thing. Like I think if you're especially if it's a first date and you guys are going out, like maybe limit
you can hook the
the
joint to the
amount of
car if you want.
time that you're on the phone. Like if you're on social media the entire time that we're out on our first date, I'm be like, oh, they're not interested.
Oh, I got a story about the phone thing, right? So
Okay.
I was out on a date probably about 2021, like early 2021. And it was with a woman that we known each other for a little bit. And we kind of just try to talk or whatever the case is. And I remember my daughter had called me when we was out.
Mm-hmm.
This probably was like 8:30, almost 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And that girl caught a whole attitude with me, like, yeah, so you being on the phone, that's not gonna be a thing. I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that. I'm looking at her like, okay. I was like, what's wrong? And she was like, well, I'm just saying, like, I don't have an issue with your daughter, your people's calling, whatever the case is, but you need to be focusing on me, and that's it. She should be asleep anyway. And I was looking,
I'll
I'm
send you the
like,
link, Fancy.
when you say stuff like that, I'm looking at her like, yeah, that's pretty much. I told her, I said, no, that's not gonna happen. At any time, my daughter can call me when I'm out. I don't give a damn. I'm never gonna put my phone on do not disturb when I have a child in this world. I tell anybody, I
Right.
said, listen, I don't put my phone on do not disturb because I have a daughter. If any emergency happened, I get me and you was having fun. But if I lose my child because I wasn't paying attention, you ain't dating me anyway. So like,
Right.
because
It didn't
you know,
work.
I mean,
Hold on, let me see it
so
again. I'm gonna send it to you again, man.
so
But no,
that
I
that
get
was
it.
something that was for me. Like now I get it. Granted, if she called me 2 or 3 times, I'm gonna tell her, Gabby, stop calling me. I'm out right now. You got to handle the situation. Like things come up, things whatever. But like unless I'm sitting, if I'm sitting here, my homie calling, he want to have a conversation about his bust down or something like that. Like I'm not doing that. I'm like, yo, I probably just text real quick, like, yo, I'm out real like on a sneak. But for the most part, somebody always have my attention. Now, they ain't to say I ain't always on my phone because I do be on my phone. But chances of the other person is in a phone too.
I just sent you another link. Listen, so here's the thing. I think that one, there's an exception to every rule, and of course, like, how can I tell you you can't answer the phone for your daughter? But I do think that maybe that there's something to say for her letting you know things that maybe she doesn't appreciate. You know what I mean? While dating. Now, the difference is that was your daughter, and you're never going to put her on hold. But to say, I don't want you to talk on the phone, period, crazy.
Yeah,
Like to say,
that
like,
was a no go for me.
right, but to be like, I don't want, like, if we're out on a date, I can understand saying, like, and maybe later, especially not that time when it was your daughter, but like later saying, like, if we are on a date, I would like for the attention and focus to be on me and not on random phone calls. I think
Right.
that's understandable. You know what I
That
mean?
is definitely
But for
understandable. Hmm.
her to hold on, I'm gonna send it to Fantasy just in case that didn't work. Oh, it didn't work
Okay.
with her either. Hold on, I'm sending it to Fantasy. Okay. But to be like, you can't talk to your daughter. That's crazy. Like, you, if my kid calls me at any given time, okay, here comes Bell.
Yeah, that was always going to be a no for me. Like 24/7.
Right.
No. Ah,
Look who
look,
now. Do you
looky
look at
here.
her? Check out her tag. Resident
Hey.
crazy.
What's your tag, Mel? What the hell your tag say?
Melanin honey. Resident crazy.
This girl is too funny.
Wild.
Y'all love it.
Wild.
she said
Okay.
she said I don't mind that because the kids come first. Exactly. Especially when we not
Hi.
if I ain't wifed you up. Oh, there she go.
There she
What's up?
is. Hi.
Hey, I'm surrounded by women now. God damn it.
Who's the
Yes.
pretty
The
girl?
other time it was me and men, and now I'm glad I've got, like,
You
now we're
know what?
outnumber the men.
You know what? You are
Ooh,
100%
Mr.
right.
Henry. Ooh,
Usually it's
Mr.
men and then
Henry.
just me.
No, don't. Nope. I ain't got nothing to do with y'all little freaky ways. Y'all go ahead, y'all fly. Y'all ain't going to have me trapped in the corner.
Okay,
Nah.
I'll behave just for you.
Okay, so here's
Nah,
another
welcome
Oh
to the
thing.
my
show.
lord.
Oh, here's another thing that I think is a thing. Like,
Is my background
if
loud?
no,
You're good. You're
it's
good.
not.
I'm at the
If you're
Verizon store,
not
so let me know if my
planning,
background loud.
Okay.
if you're not planning on having sex on the first date, do you think
Planning?
that
Who
you
be
should?
planning to have sex? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Some people,
Finish. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
some people want to have sex on the first date, but if you're not planning, if your intentions are not to have sex on the first date, do you think that you should discuss sex or sexual topics?
I let women lead with that one. That's one thing I don't do. I don't lead with that. It'll be a while
Sure.
before I mention anything. If we don't get to that point of stuff, like if we're in the midst of talking about things and I know it's
Mm-hmm.
heading a certain way, I make disclaimers. I
No.
tell you my transparency and stuff like that. But
Right.
For
But
me,
do you?
no, because
Right.
I already have an issue with all the men that I have been encountered with. They want to get to know me physically first and then mentally. So I already have an
Mm,
issue with that.
yeah.
Um, so for me, if I see you and my vagina doesn't speak before I do,
Right.
then no, I'm not gonna want to have that conversation throughout the date. But if I do
Would it be a
plan
turn
to,
off for you if a man was immediately talking about sex, like, on a first date? Like, would it be a red flag if, like, he's automatically talking about sex and you guys are really just in the I'm just getting to know you stage?
I'll be like, hurry up with this date. I want to go home, and you go your way, I go my way, and I will block you the same night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't even wanna.
Like, Mike, do you think that if a woman was talking about sex, like when y'all first go out, would you think, oh well, we probably gonna hook up tonight? Like, she probably on
nope,
it.
that's not how I think. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. I really don't think like that at all because I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
conversation. I
Yeah.
like things like that. When we talk about stuff, I literally would tell you in the midst of talking about it, like I'm not taking what me and your conversation. I'm not taking it as this is an introductory class to that
Right.
because I like conversation. So chances are I got
Yeah.
to be mentally attracted to you before I ever touch you
Oh, I
anyway.
just sent someone the right.
I just feel like there's so much that you guys could talk about on the first date instead of that. That topic should be
Yeah.
like definitely off limits when it comes to that. I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
it should be other things. Let's talk about the
Right.
table, the food, the what we wearing. Like It could
Right.
be so much stuff that we could talk about.
Because if I'm going out on a date with you, I want to get to know you, right? Oh, it kicked you? Try to come back, Mel. Try, because I think that happened last week too to somebody. But if I'm going out on a date with you and I'm trying to get to know you, Mike is like in and out right now. We're waiting for him to get to one place. Hey Styles, welcome. She said probably because her service bad. Hey Styles. If I'm trying to get to know you and I want to go out on a date with you,
Kick myself.
what I don't
What the fuck?
and we
Good.
start talking about sex off the rip and we don't know the basic things about each other, I feel like it's an automatic. It lets me know that your intention is just sex, and that you really aren't trying to get to know me. Your intention is the
Styles.
physical only. You know what I mean? And if
Correct.
that's the case, then say that up front.
What's
But
going on,
let's not,
Styles?
guys. I want to take you out on a date and get to know you. Even if you say to me up front, even if I know up front that you want to hook up, we can go out on a date, and I know that you want to hook up. But if my thought process is that we're trying to get to know each other to potentially date, and we're talking about sex immediately, then that lets me know what your intentions are. And so I have to approach things differently.
Why are you breathing so hard, Hennessy? Damn.
Because my face is right next to the microphone. I'm like right here, and I'm driving.
It's so ghetto in New York. I swear it's so ghetto.
Oh my gosh.
I
That's
took my face away from
crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
But yeah,
Can you still hear me breathing?
No.
He's so heavy
All
no,
breathing for
we were
me.
like, Mike, stop
right.
breathing. Mike,
He's like,
just don't breathe.
I'm
Because
like,
I'm directly next to it. Like when I say I'm on the mic, I'm like I had to move it away from my face.
Here's another thing that I do, and I say this a lot online. Ooh, Styles, you're about to say exactly. Okay, this is good. This is a perfect lead in. Intentions are everything. I always
That we
think that,
told you
and
to not breathe.
right, don't breathe no more, Mike. Stop
All right,
breathing.
all right, y'all.
Um,
Not like Mel say, not too much on me.
I
Wow.
think that on a first date, you should maybe state your intentions on the first date, right? But don't, I'm never going to list specifics. I feel like it's a common question. What are you looking for in a partner? I'm not going to talk to them. I don't want to talk about that. And here's my reason why. And I know that sounds crazy because I know that that's a question that people ask. I don't want to give you a formula to be who you think I want you to be. I want to find out that you're the person that I need you to be on your own. So when you're asking me, even if it's the most honest and like a very honest and innocent question, for me personally, I don't want to give you the formula of what I'm looking for in a man because you could either a intentionally or non-intentionally just become that person for me because you want to be with me, right? Um and I think that that's kind of like that's a slippery slope. You do have to feel people out these days. There's a lot of right, a lot of lonely, lost souls. So I'm a firm believer in yes, we can discuss what our intentions are, like what we would like to have in a relationship, what we're looking for in a relationship, all those kinds of things. What we're hoping for in the future. We can talk about those things, but what I'm not going to do is give you the formula to what I want in a man so that you can put on a facade, even if you don't mean to be putting on a facade. I can't
glad
give
that you're
you
right
this
there. Go
formula.
ahead. I'm
I
gonna say
can't
something
give
about
you
that
this
definitely.
formula. You know what I mean? I can't give you like the exact like blueprint of what I want you to be because if you become that person and then later down the road we figure out that you're not that person, that's gonna be a problem.
that's a
Because both of us,
problem.
yeah,
Right. The fuck?
Yeah, you should never like, and I guess that's just from me to people that's into the dating world. Don't
mm-hmm.
give anybody a blueprint to how
No,
to do things for you. Like if you give too much information about things that you like, that you want out of life, that you
100%.
like that you would want for yourself. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people like to mold themselves into that person so they can
Right.
feel like they're making you happy, like love bombing and shit like that. Like
Oh
that's
yeah.
a part of it.
Right, that's all a part of it. If I tell you what I'm looking for, you may just become exactly what I'm looking for. And then I don't even know what your motives are anymore. You might not even realize that you're doing it. Got to be careful with men you've been friends with too. That is also true. We were talking about in someone else's live. and I guess we can dive in on this maybe a little bit later or even on another live because I feel like there's so much to say about this. I think for women, it's tricky for us because we don't know when we have a genuine friend versus we have a man who wants to be our friend but with the intentions of more. You know what I mean? And so if we're confiding in someone thinking that they're just our friend, they could be somebody who's also storing that information because they might have the hope of something else. You know what I mean? If you don't know what that person's genuine intention is and they are like, oh, we just cool, we just friends, but you're also telling this person what you're looking for, they could also be somebody who, might try to become that because if that's what they want and they're thinking, oh, well, I want to make this happen one day, they might try to become what you're telling them that you want. So I get that. That makes sense. It's a really weird balance that I feel like both men and women look who's here.
I think
That both
did it work?
it did work. You're here.
Oh, there it is. Hold on.
Who's
Oh,
that?
my chocolate gum dropped.
I'm like, wait, it's
Oh
not
wow.
working. It's not working. And then it
Got
did.
it.
It did
Got her
work.
in. Okay. Welcome.
It had me like sign in and sign out like 100 times. I was like, what is going on?
Uh-oh.
You got to
Yeah.
open it up through your web browser. It's weird how it works.
Right,
Right.
Styles. You have to let people show you who they are, but you definitely don't want to tell people what you want.
I
They
just
can
sit
just
back and
become.
observe. Like I'll just
Yeah.
sit back and watch you now. Like before, I used to be like, I like this, I want this, I want to do this, I want to, and then they
Hmm.
turn around and um take advantage of my kindness. Because I'm not gonna lie, I do wear my heart on my sleeve all the time. I try to be a
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
bitch, but it doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
because the
Mm.
type of person I'm. Shut up,
Right.
salty, not too much, right? So now I just sit back and observe. Like I'm gonna watch how
Right.
you move. If I
Yeah.
don't like it, then I'm gonna be like,
Right.
bye, my
I,
man's.
it's good for you to know what you want. Like you should
Right.
obviously know what you're looking for, but I just don't think that you should tell people
No,
what you're
and
looking
I
for.
don't, and you don't have to tell them, but I feel like because men are not mind readers either, so
Hmm.
we cannot put everything on them. Like, oh my God, you
Right.
need to do this and you need to be like this. But I feel like if you feel like what something he did that he thought it was okay to do made you feel some type of way, there should be a conversation about it
Absolutely.
without you telling him I don't like you when you did that because, but there should be a conversation. Like I kind of felt some type of way about that. Like it's weird,
Right.
you
Yeah,
Right.
know?
I think there's a balance between you should let someone know what your intentions are, but you don't need
Mm.
to know all of the details of every qualification because that way,
Right.
yeah, that way they just try to just turn into what you want them to turn into.
Exactly.
But that's kind of, it's rough because that's what my whole, I guess the issue with the like romantic love is
They want
because
190 for these bronze.
I'm, di- Henny, you all right?
Oh no, that's my homie next to me. He looking at stickers.
But like, I
Hey,
feel like
hey,
there's
homie
a
next
thing
to
that
him, you
we
cute.
do, right? Always, always.
The
No,
lady
but I feel
said,
like
"Hey,
there's a
homie next to me,
certain
are you
thing.
cute?"
There's always a thing to me when you put too much on, like, we don't ever let things grow into stuff. And I think
Mm.
there's a time, like we never really fully know anyone, right? Like because we're always growing. Like you can be with somebody for 10
Sure.
years and there's new stuff, right?
Hmm.
But I feel like there's a minimum of like, I say a year of you let me just watch you. And I'm not saying you can't
Right.
do anything in the year, but
Right.
understand that there are seasons with all of us and we all go through
100%.
cycles, right?
Yeah.
We go through stressed, happy, broke, kids, no kids.
Right.
Like literally all of us go through some form of cycle every year. And I feel like people need
Absolutely.
to see people through all those cycles to be
Right.
able to determine, like, I want to see what you look like when you ain't got no money. I want to see when you look like when you stressed out. I want to see what you
Yeah.
look like when you're extremely happy and you don't
Right.
need what I'm offering right now. Like, how do
Right.
you act when different seasons come? So that's why I'm like,
Right.
I think time is the biggest thing that you can do because regardless of you tell somebody what you want, there's only
Hmm.
so long that they can hold up the charade, right?
Amen.
True.
There's only so long that you can do anything. You can't hold up the charade and they can't hold up the charade. At some
Right.
point, somebody's mask gonna come off. And
Exactly.
you're gonna see like, oh, they act like they're okay and they can communicate well, but when we're in a real argument, they shut
Mm.
down.
Right.
Like when they're actually upset, because everybody can say, "Oh, I know how to communicate," and yes, we should talk about everything. But when your feelings is in it, do you talk? Like, do you actually talk? When I hurt your feelings, do you actually communicate that? So that's what I'm saying. I think that you have to actually go through real life and watch a person. You really can't tell somebody, because your intentions could be like, "Oh, my intention is to walk down the aisle," and then 3 months later, you're like, "Wait a minute, you don't know how to communicate. You can't talk. I thought you could talk. Now you don't know how." Like that'll piss you off. Like, "Oh, I can't do the rest of my life if somebody can't talk." Like, that's not gonna work.
You got to see. You got to let them show you who they are.
Right. You have to let them do it.
And see if you can handle seeing if you can handle with them showing you who they are. See if you could really handle being with that person, even with those little tiny red flags. You know what I'm saying? Because everything they do is a red flag.
Yeah, everything they do is a red flag.
Everything a man does is a red flag.
No. That ain't true. We're going
to dead fantasy. Yo.
So listen, I would say this, right? Red flags always happens. Even when people sit back in relationships, it happens. You just don't pay attention to them no more, because when your person is your person, you see past certain things. It's not that you're naive to it. It's just that you see past it. I feel like red flags to me happens early, and I want to leave it early. But when you're in a relationship, a red flag can happen, but you got to be consistent on your red flag for me to be like, yo, that's an issue. Like somebody can make a mistake right there and they'd be like, okay, it's whatever, you know what I mean? But consistently, like that's different. You know what I mean? So like,
but that's where the conversation will come up. That's where communication.
But I honestly think that that's something. I had seen something on TikTok about like people not staying in relationships long and people not fighting for certain things, and I was like, I honestly think that's part of our problem, is we will sit through incompatibility, trying to hold something. And incompatibility doesn't mean a red flag or doesn't mean bad. It doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people are incompatible. Like we're not rocking the same wavelength. It has nothing to do with you're wrong or I'm wrong. But like, if you walk into a relationship and the woman's like, I want 6 kids. And the guy goes, I don't want any. It's nobody's wrong. But those two people will force it because the sex is good. I like what we do. You're cute. I'm cute. And we'll force this thing. And then 2 years down the line, you're like, so you really, but you love me and you really don't want no kids. And he's like, but I don't want the kids. And now he resents you. And like a lot of times we don't walk away fast enough. We wouldn't be so attached if we did leave when we were incompatible. Not like the person has to be perfect. But incompatibility is, to me, where the problem really breaks down. Like, if you leave when you realize, oh, we don't think the same, and this is going to be a problem. Like, I don't want to do that, and that's what they want to do. We feel like we have to fight for everything. And no, you don't. That's how you end up 10 years and be like, I wasted all this time. Because you knew. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's time to say, hey, does these things match up? Does our foundations match up? And if they don't, it's okay to say, hey, this isn't for me. You don't have to sit there and fight for something that isn't compatible in the first place. I think a lot of people sit longer than they should, and they want something so bad that, like, you know, she could be a whole hot mess, and you want her so bad that you sit through her bullshit. Right. And that's not. And then when you're done, you're looking like, damn, I wasted my time because I saw the bullshit day 2.
Yeah.
That's why I left Adonis's dad. Like, he was my last real relationship. I left him 5 years ago. But the only reason why I try to keep pushing is because I was pregnant with Adonis. And I didn't want another failed relationship, whatever. But let me tell you, when me and Adonis's dad met, we met on a dating site. The same day we met, we spoke. The next day he came to pick me up. He took me on a date. The following day I went on a date. The third day he asked me to be his girl. A month later we moved in together. 2 months later I was pregnant. So it happened so fast. So and when we sat down a few years later, and because I took him to my therapy, because I wanted to work on letting go of the issues that I did in that relationship, so I don't have to bring it to the next one. So when I brought him with me one day and I told him, I was like, I want to apologize because I know that we could have been good together if we took the time to date and get to know each other before we rushed so fast into. When I tell you less than 4 months, I was already pregnant and moving in with him. And
yeah,
it lasted a good 3 or 4 years. However, I feel like I was trying to keep him close and keep him as my man, and because Adonis was born, and I was like, no, because when Adonis grows up and makes his own family, then I gotta deal with you and be by myself. I'm good. I'm not gonna put my happiness on the line just to make Adonis. No, he'll see both of us. And look at him now; he's engaged to be married, and I'm still single, which is okay because I'm happy for him.
And it's crazy because well, Styles just said yes, I did that with the last person I was talking to, knew, and it wasn't going to work. And
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
and no, now you're blocked. Oh no.
I'm dead.
She said,
Now
I'm
I'm
glad I
blocked.
didn't though. I didn't say just to do it. Yeah. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna switch because we're going into the second hour, so I'm gonna kind of switch things, and I'm gonna ask some questions, and I want everybody's opinion. I'll have a question. And they're random questions, so they're questions that apply to both, whether you're online dating, like on a dating app, or in real life, right?
Okay.
So just think about it in that kind of context. How do you think, like, so I know it, because I know it applies differently when you're dating face to face or when you meet someone face to face. When is too soon to exchange like numbers? Let's say if you're on a dating app and you're getting to know a person, how soon is too soon to exchange numbers?
Well, I think it depends more on the connection or how the conversation is going, because for me, I'm like a dating thotty right now. Like I'm just dating and dating, right?
Not
Until
a
the
dating thotty.
Not the dating
Yeah.
thotty.
yeah,
Right.
without having sex, but dating thotty, right?
Got it. Okay.
So I feel like depending on the connection and the conversation, you could give your number out the same day. If you don't like the way the conversation goes after that, hello, the block button, boo, block, nigga, block.
Right. No, but that's what I was gonna say. I feel like there was a time in life with our big age that giving out your phone number was like this huge thing, right? And really and truthfully, now that we have 85 different ways to connect and talk to each other, and like you can give out your email and you can FaceTime. You get what I'm saying? Like you really don't even have to. So
Google
I feel
me.
like
Google me.
right, literally. Yeah, literally you can find just about anyone anywhere, and we have so many ways to connect. So I don't think it's not necessary, or it is necessary, but I don't think it's a big deal to give out your phone number, because one, it's just a phone number, and I think honestly what's crazy is your socials are worse. I feel like giving out your phone number is private. Giving out your socials is like, oh, they see your mama, your sister, your best friend, your aunties on there, all your homies, your exes is still looking, the things is going on, everybody around. That to me is like, damn, if you know where my Twitter and my TikTok is and my Snap is, bruh.
And I have a personal social, like I have a personal Instagram that has my family on it, and then there's my just basically one, right? And so I most times I'm not giving people my personal one, like right. Then you're seeing my family, and I don't know if I'm ready for you to see like all the stuff.
But that's the reason. People. Right, but that's what I'm saying. To me, my phone number doesn't connect you to my mama. Correct. You see what I'm saying? My mama, my sister, you don't see none of that. So it's like, I think giving you my phone number is more private at this point. Like I trust that more. Like I trust you on my phone.
Style, this is the reason why I asked this question. She says she uses Style, so she doesn't give a real number. Because I was in a live with some friends, and they were saying they all have a separate number that they give out to people.
Text now.
And they don't give out their real number. And I was like, I don't know. I don't have that app. Like I didn't even know people were doing that. They were
now.
Like, yeah.
Oh, I know that's a thing.
We give people our fake number as opposed to our real number. And I was like, I
don't see. That's what I'm saying. For me, I don't care. If this is my thing. If I want to talk to you and that's what I want to do, then I don't care if you have my phone number. Like it doesn't bother me for people to have my phone number. But I feel like if you have my socials, that's where it's at for real. Like you can really, and literally my name is the same everywhere. So like you find me, bitch, you gonna find me. But my phone number is kind of like, I can block you and you may never. But if I block you on my Snap, you still got all the other connections to still find me. But my phone number, if I block you there, that's it. You really gone. So that's why I'm like I don't need a second number for people. But like, cause I'm real good on blocking, so I don't really care. Like I'm
the block queen.
Yeah,
Michael,
my block
you getting ready to
long.
say something? I heard you come back on. I don't know if you're getting ready to add something in.
Yeah, I'm just pretty much just listening to y'all chime in. I do agree with y'all about the phone number thing. Like, I do feel like for women, y'all should audition. Y'all should make people audition for y'all at all times. Because if they want your number, they have to put the work in to get that number. You know what I mean? Like, they really do. They got, like, give them a fake number. I tell people, like, this is one of the things I tell women, yo, give them your fake number. Don't give them your real number, because stalkers exist. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. On my social media, I think that's worse for me. Like, if I block you on my phone and you don't really know me nowhere else, you really disappear. If I give you my TikTok, oh, bruh, you can stalk me now, because that is.
But you can block on there too. Well, yeah, because then they can make other profiles, and I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like at this point, you see my friends, you know who they are. So if I block you, now you on fantasy page looking for me. You know what I'm saying? Now you somewhere else looking for me. You done made a new page, and now you on basics in her comments scrolling to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are connected to the people I am now connected to. That to me is more scary. Like,
true, man.
That's
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mike. Were you getting ready to say fantasy?
But I was gonna say, because so when you give your number out, that means that kind of like the end of the conversation, right? So you wait and see if he's gonna really hit you up. Sometimes when I give my number out, these people take forever to hit me up, and I'm like, oh, so you're alive. Yeah, I'm not interested anymore. I'm not. Like, I just lose interest. Or if they be like, oh, so the conversation was great, what's your Instagram? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I feel like knowing somebody's socials is almost way more intimate, because literally they see your life. Like, we're posting on our story, like, hey, we're at the Waffle House, hey, at the mall. They see the inside of your car. Like, literally, we are way more public on our socials, and I feel like that's more scary to me, to give somebody like, damn, they gonna see all my life and all my friends, because it's there. Like, but my phone number, I'm like, well, you can go away. Like, you can really disappear. Like, I really don't care. I don't care.
But here's the second piggyback off of this for fantasy, salty, Mr. Hennessy, Styles, Mel. Here we go. How soon is too soon to tell someone your real name versus your own?
Whoa. All right, that might be a lady.
I wait till
that might be a lady thing, because I ain't never did that before.
I wait to the first, second, third, maybe the third day, because sometimes I forget. Like, I be like, on my dating sites, I don't have my real name on there. I have Victoria on there, right? So shut up, Salty. Shut up, Salty.
That's who they talking to. That's right. That makes sense. That's who they talking to.
And then so I sometimes have so much fun on these dates or conversations that I forget. And then when they be like, yo, Victoria, stop playing with me, I'm like, oh, by the way, since you're gonna be here for a little bit, or plan on being here for a little bit, my name is actually Francesca, not Victoria. And they be like, oh, you lied to me, you a catfish. You know, they make a joke.
You a catfish.
Right. Yeah. Yes, Mel. When are you telling people that your name is not?
She said my real name, Lamont. Wow.
At this point, Mel's real name on her birth certificate is Mel. Like, at this point, that is what her mother named her at this point. Because there is no other thing to call her ever.
Right. Nobody's calling her anything else but Mel at this point.
Right. I'm like, everybody just thinks it's short.
Is Mel. What you mean?
The part is, maybe Mel. Some of y'all know her actual name. I still don't know her actual name. I'm not privy to that. I'm not privy to that. So now I just give her all taste name.
She will forever be Melanin.
That's fine. Her name. Look, her name.
Her first name
is
Mel.
Melanin no more. It's Melody. That's what I'm calling her. Until she gets
Melody.
I'm calling her Melody.
It's Melody, Melanie, all the Melissa.
Her first name is Mel, and her last name
Melody.
is Mel.
Right.
Yeah.
Melanie. Anything that starts with Mel is her name.
Yeah. Right.
But when you find somebody, let's say you find somebody cute on TikTok or whatever, and you find them cute, when do you say? When is that point where you're like, hey, can I? Because I've had guys be like, hey, can I get your real name so I can stop calling you basic?
I'll be like, Fantasy is my real name.
Or people come in my live.
You notice I ain't never say your actual name on here.
What's your real name? They'll be like, hey,
Mr. Hennessy, you could call me whatever.
No, but see, the thing is, I feel like, okay, so to me, I'm not, see, that's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm not worried about people knowing my real name. It doesn't bother me when people know my real name. Like I said, for me, it's more like I really feel like how much did I put you in my life? Like, how much access do you have? That's the part that I feel like you can know what my name is, But like, it's the access to my life that I'm like, yo, that's too much. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need
Right.
to see you don't need to see that I was at Chick-fil-A today. So that's why for me, I'm the kind of person that's like, I'm on Snap and I post like where I'm at, if I'm driving, if I'm doing
She
Yes.
said
that
malicious.
scares me,
Too
because
funny.
that is where I'm like, I don't want you knowing where I'm at when it comes to that. Like, that's too
Right.
much.
Mhm.
Mel said her name is Melody Malicious. I like it.
That's right. The three M's.
I
Right.
love it.
MMM.
Okay. Next question. How soon is too soon to introduce the person that you're dating to your children?
Oh shit,
Oh
get the
man.
fuck out of here.
Never.
Mm.
Honey, that is the last of the resort. That's the last
Right.
That
thing
is,
that
no,
you
when I
do.
tell you the way that I feel about that is
They
just,
won't remember.
when I tell you, yeah, when I tell you the way that I feel about people meeting people's kids is wild.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely feel like it don't even need to happen. Like, I know that sounds
Right.
crazy, but I don't even
No,
think it
you're
needs to
right.
happen like ever. But if you're a
Mm-hmm.
person that needs to go into, like, you're going into a marriage, or that's where that's going, I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like 4 years at minimum. And I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
I feel
Okay.
like four
Mm-hmm.
years. I do. I feel like a very long time, because I feel like you need to take a longer time to get to know somebody when you
Yeah.
have children. You can't do the, oh, I've been dating for a year or 2 years and we're in love and there it is, because you don't know anything yet. Like, you realize that people take forever,
Yeah.
forever to get to know someone. And I feel like
True.
we underestimate what it does to children
Mm-hmm.
when we do that. Like, you like them, they don't. They don't
Right.
feel shit for this person.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
They
Right.
feel nothing. You are
Yeah.
that person is no benefit or anything to them at all. So when you're
Right.
like, but what I need and my feelings and I need, you ain't even concerned about what that child needs. And that's where I
Right.
feel like if you're going to do it, it's like, be really for real for like 4 years. Like, I mean,
Right.
that, like, you really need to. And I feel like when your child is very young, you don't need to do it at
Mm-hmm.
all. Like, sit your ass down.
100%.
Like, don't
I
even do it.
Right. I made a conscious choice, especially when Lola was younger, as a single mother to a young girl. I wasn't bringing someone that I was randomly dating around my child. I just wasn't. She may
No.
have met maybe one, maybe two people that I've been dating through her life.
Right.
And it was very brief. And it had to have reached a certain point for me to trust them enough to bring them even around her. But like the people that I'd casually date, there was no way I'm just randomly bringing them about it, because I also didn't want her to have the thought of her mind of men just rotating in like through my house, like just random men coming in and out of her life. I didn't
Right.
want to make that a norm for her. Like if I knew we weren't serious, like you can't just be my boyfriend for a couple weeks and I think I'm gonna bring you over to see my kid. Ain't no way. Like they'll be like, oh, maybe I could take your kid to. Nope, she's not coming to the park with us because I don't know if you're gonna
Right.
be
My
here
thing is,
next month.
right. We're like, that's not, I feel like that is so, like, I'm all here for single parents getting their groove on and they groove back. I'm here for that.
Right.
But you have
Right.
there, none of this is of benefit to your child. Like, you drop
Right.
them off at somewhere else and you will
Right.
get your groove on and you come back.
Right.
There is
Exactly.
absolutely no reason to have men and women rotating. You know what I've noticed about a lot of men? And when I see men that do it, I am
Mm-hmm.
always very excited and I'm very happy for them. When I see men have their children alone,
Mel's comment.
he crazy. But that's a lie. They like me, Mel. That's a lie. But she lying. But I'm saying, like, when I see men and they're single fathers and they do it by themselves, when I tell
Love
Mm-hmm.
you,
that. That shit is so
it is
sexy.
such a beautiful thing to see a man. He can have a dating life, he can do whatever, but he's like, when he has his kids, it's for his kids. You know how many men
Mm-hmm.
go from one woman to the next so that there's another mom, that they don't want to have to really focus
100%.
in and deal with their kids. They're like, oh, I need another woman to come do the hair and make the clothes, the sandwiches and clean their stuff and do, like, they're looking for another mother because they want to be more hands off. And I feel
Right.
like we're not supposed to do that to our children. Like, you should be able to be a parent solely by yourself, and the other
Mm-hmm.
parent should be able to be a parent solely by themselves. And
Right.
when you have another person come interrupt that, we don't even care what we're doing to our kids. It's
Right.
wild. They don't have no reason at all to be involved in your love life because you're not sure. How are you sure? How are you bringing your child around somebody you've known a year and you ain't sure because you don't know them yet?
Right.
You don't even know them. So why are you bringing around your kid?
Right.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
I'm with Basic. Adonis and Jelani probably met like maybe one or two, and that's because it's been like a mistake. Like my mother would come downstairs and me pick her.
She said like a mistake. She didn't say it was a mistake, fantasy.
Right.
Wait.
It was like no, it was a mistake because my mother would come downstairs with the children. I'm like, Ma, didn't I tell you not to come downstairs with the children because I want to do? Like, you know, it was something like that.
Right.
You know how Adonis gets that I'm on the phone and he's like right here, and I could be on the phone. I'll be like, go to the room, like.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'd be like,
I
hey,
get
little
that
man,
vibe.
and I'll be
Yeah.
like, so the conversation we was having, like, I'm
Right,
like,
but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
If it's a serious situation, like to seriously have them involved with your kids is wild. Unless it's a serious situation, like
Yeah.
it can't be no booty call. It can't be some guy that wants
Right.
to be your man but ain't your man. Like I don't know
Right.
how. I don't know how people do that.
I don't
There's
even
al-
bring
there's
that
also
much
so much
niggas to
to-
my house. Like, I don't even
Right.
bring
There's
niggas to my
there's also so much to say for, especially when you're a mother of a young child or a young girl, just bringing random men around the young, even young boys. I'm not even gonna say young girls. 'cause
Yeah,
young
just
boys
in
too,
general.
bringing people who you don't know what their intentions are around your young children. Like, you have to
Right,
be
it's
careful.
crazy to me. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I really feel like you're playing Russian roulette, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I've told people that I know people have step parents and people have great step parents.
Mhm.
And there's always, I said, but you played Russian roulette. Like let's be for real. We're playing Russian roulette when you bring people around your children and
Right.
you don't really know, like you don't know. You know how many times it happens in our regular families, crazy stuff happens. So to bring it a stranger you didn't know, that is wild. Like, no. And that's why I said, even
Right.
if you get a good one, you played Russian roulette, you just happen to get a good one. You don't know how it's going to affect your kid. You don't know none of that.
Yeah. Right.
It's
So
crazy.
here's my next question. And this one's kind of more lighthearted. For those of you who have done dating sites or are currently on dating sites and you're choosing your pictures that you are going to put up there, are you putting your best pictures that you have, or are you putting pictures that reflect what you look like every day? And also, are we doing like chest up pictures? Or are we doing full body pictures?
So I have full body. I have when I'm just waking up because you got to see it all. Like, I'm cute either way. So I'm going to show
Right.
everything. Full body, chest up, smile. You got to
Yeah.
show everything because they don't want, nowadays people, catfishing is real. When I
It
tell
is.
you, the stories that I hear, I'd be like, what? Like, catfishing is real. So they really appreciate that I have like a full body pic from head to toe, something, you know, they don't care about the makeup, something I look without makeup, without lipstick, no filter.
Right.
I mean, I don't even use filter in my pictures. So
Yes.
it's just that, like, but
Right.
a lot of people, they
I'm not
do.
on any dating site, so I don't know, but I
You
do
don't
know
need
that
to be, sis.
I'm weak. But I've never have though. I've
Right.
never, I guess because I think that my idea of a dating site is there's only two things, right? So either you're
Mhm.
looking to hook up or you're looking to really be in a relationship.
Mhm.
And neither is going to happen with me. So,
Okay. Makes sense.
so
I
yeah,
remember
there's no point.
many, like Lulu was probably, it was in when I lived
It
back in
depends
my
on the
original
site.
hometown.
Oh my
I
God.
remember having some pictures up, and I thought they were good enough. But I remember like a guy, I don't know how it happened. I don't know if he saw me, if I sent it, or if I posted another picture later. And I remember him in my inbox, and he said, "Oh, you're a plus size girl."
Leave him.
Oh, I don't like plus size girls.
Mhm.
First of all, you could have kept that comment because you didn't know what to
Right.
ask for.
Right.
You definitely did not have to come back to let me know that you didn't like
Right.
plus
You
size
definitely
girls.
didn't have to come back and express that to me. You didn't.
Right. You didn't have to come back and tell me
Not at
when
all.
you saw the picture that showed that I was a plus size girl. Nope, you didn't have to come back and confirm.
Can I-
Yeah, by the way, I don't like plus size girls.
Can I comment on that? I want to say something as far as that. So the one thing when I was on dating websites, the one thing I did like about women's profiles, y'all actually said what it is that y'all want for yourselves.
Okay.
I'm speaking from what I see on the women's pages. Y'all go in and say, I like this, I like this, I like this. So I know rather to swipe left or right. The dumbass part about some men is that they want everything. So it's like you want to swipe right on everything. If you see somebody's face, you just swipe right on their face. You didn't even read the profile. You didn't read the bio. You read nothing.
Right.
I
So-
mean
Right.
everything.
Because a lot of times, you know what is true though, because a lot of times girls will put plus size BBW.
The
Because they
BBW,
want, because they don't want that same thing to happen. Like because a lot of girls have like a smaller face, and then their body is voluptuous, and you can't
Mhm.
always tell what they're looking like. So
Right.
if you can't really tell from the face, they want you to know, hey, BBW or whatever they're gonna
Right.
put. Yeah, they're gonna let you know. And it's unfortunate for somebody to be like, oh, I don't do that, but like we didn't ask you, so thank
Right.
you.
Nobody
We didn't
asked.
ask you.
Okay.
I didn't ask you.
Like, I'm my bad that you surprised. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
My bad.
Like, yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah,
So,
I don't feel
That
like,
was
I
my
think we
fault.
should though, because I feel like sometimes I look at people when they do, even when they're just like on TikTok or wherever, I find it
Mhm.
interesting when somebody comes and presents themselves a certain way, and they're like
Mhm.
that all the time. So like they're always made up and they always are looking a certain way, and they
Yeah.
never kind of come off natural. It's like, okay, so if you're trying to attract a person, when it works, is the plan not to meet them? Because at some point
Right.
physically, like, so if you're on a dating site and your plan is to find a person to either hook up with or get in a relationship with, the plan is to physically get to them at some point. So you can't create a person that they're never
Right.
going to actually see. I would want to downplay myself, because I want you to
Yes.
know this is the blemish, this is the wrinkle, this is what it,
Right.
because when you get in front of me, if that is what attracted you and that's not what you about to see, I'm going to be embarrassed. I'm going to feel away. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Right.
retarded to me to make up yourself that big and use 100 filters and always have on makeup and always be glamorous.
Crazy.
When,
It's crazy.
yeah, I just,
I'm done, Mel. Mel says she has to write small booty. I'm done with you.
You know what?
oh
I
my God,
hate her.
I can't.
Yeah.
No, but you're
You
right, because
what?
like if you are constantly makeup face, and I
Yeah.
don't mean like a little bit of makeup. I mean
Yeah,
like
not like a little, yeah, not a little lip gloss. I'm
I
talking like
mean
you
like
made up. Right.
made up,
Right.
and you always presenting made up. When that man that you met on that site meets you, if you splash some water on your face, what are you gonna do?
Right. Like when the relationship gets to the point of what you're trying to get to, like
Yeah.
wherever you're trying to get to, in person, he is going to see someone else. Like, and that is,
Mhm.
that ain't cute.
and he
Like,
might get
Right.
scared. I'm telling you. So it's hard.
yeah, it's a real thing. Like you should, I guess I get the makeup to enhance. I get the to, be
Yes.
cute, but the level of just that's how you present yourself at all times and not
Right.
giving somebody the real, if you're on a dating site, what are you doing?
Right.
When I'm on like people's bios, I read everything because I'm like, you have to see what the hell they wrote. If they don't write nothing and they be like, just ask and I'll tell you, I'll be like, no, nigga, bye. Like,
I'm
no.
dead.
And then I look for men who have children because they could relate. I
Same.
cannot date somebody you don't have kids or you want kids because, bitch, there's no kids coming out of here.
Ooh,
Like,
right.
my
So this
kid
shop
is
is closed.
closed for life. Like, no more,
Yeah, it's over.
not even the thought. No, definitely
Right.
not.
We
Nothing.
can snatch this whole womb out because it is not being used.
Bitch, I
Yeah,
can't.
like my wound is already taken out 6 years
Right.
ago. So now,
Bye.
Here's my next question. When you're dating and you're dating multiple people, because there's no law that says you have to date one person at a time, okay? What is the best way to manage that? Do you immediately just assume that everybody knows that dating means you're dating everyone casually? Or do you think that a conversation has to be had?
Conversation, because everybody has a different idea of what dating is, what talking stage is, what relationships are. Everybody has a different definition. So that's, to me, 100% a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
or you just put it on the table. Be real with it. Be like, listen,
Right.
me and you are not serious. We're dating with a purpose. However, until you apply that pressure, I am gonna freely date because we both met on dating sites where you have other friends, other people, other people you talk to. Hey, Cricket Boo. So like you gotta put it on the
Yeah, I
table from
mean,
the
my thing
beginning.
is, I'm probably the most annoying person for a man to approach, because I'm like, yes, my name is Simone. I'm not monogamous. How are you? That is how I start off. Like, and then the next thing is, let me see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very much so like, I'm gonna get to the point and you gonna know what's up, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna tell them, like, literally, I'm like, I
I'm
need you to
gonna
know
try
I
that
have,
shit. I'm gonna try.
I know. I'm like, literally, I need you to know I have male and female friends. I need you to know that there are people here. I need you to know I'm gonna talk to who I want to talk to. Like, I'm gonna tell you up front. And at first I was like, this is probably going to be a thing where I would just always not be dealing with someone. But then the more I was like authentically myself, I just started attracting those people. Like the people that are like, yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, some people believe you, some people don't. But I feel like I'm gonna say that up front. Like, that has to be a conversation. Like, unless I say I'm committed, we are not.
Right.
So I have
Like I
two
need you to
questions
know
for
I'm
you.
trisexual. Like, you know.
I'm dead.
I have two questions for you, okay?
Uh-huh.
So first question is, have you ever said that or led off with that with a man and them be completely startled, like it took them aback? They were
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
"Oh,
It
I don't
happens all
hear
the
this."
time. So the first, like, so usually they like, oh, okay, like, thank you. And like, okay, well, there goes that, right? They'll let me know, like, all right. But then, yeah, let me see, it's crazy. I'm done. But then some of them, okay, so it's usually like a 3 category. So those are the probably about half of them go, nah, I'm good. Then
Right.
there's maybe another like 25% that don't believe me. That
Right.
to me, maybe even more than 25. They're the
Mhm.
ones that are like, I'll change it. You don't mean that. Are you your
That was gonna
feelings
be my
must be
second
hurt?
question.
Who
Right.
cheated on you? Don't worry, if the
That
perfect guy
comes
comes
from
along,
black
I can change
trauma.
how you're thinking. Yeah, it's your trauma. Where's your
Right.
daddy at? Like it's those ones that think it's something else.
Yeah.
And then there's the ones that's like,
I even know Mel was backstage.
Oh, me neither. I just saw her and I was like, "What
No,
Mel doing?"
I just did it
right, I must have
Oh, okay.
she had to just pop
because
on.
I was in the store and it was messing with my service.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. But yeah, then
I
there's the
wanna
ones
I
that just
wanna
say no.
go.
Go ahead, okay.
So salty. The thing is, this is, and you understand this more than anything. A lot of people think of monogamous because it's a sense of security for them, right? Like, oh, I got my
Right,
person, and that's just it. When you hear
right.
non-monogamous, what's the first? Why do people get scared of that? Because they're scared that somebody else is going to do something that they're not doing. You know what I mean? Like
It's
they think
absolutely fear. Once
immediately in
people,
sex.
it's
That's what they think about.
100% fear. Yeah,
They
it's
Mm-hmm.
think
100% fear.
immediately in sex, like, oh, somebody about to bang my girl. Like, nah. First of all, it ain't always about that. You know what I mean?
It's not.
You got people that are asexual, you got pansexual people, you got people that just learn things about themselves. And yeah, it sounds confusing to everybody else, but it's like once you sit back and learn and study it,
Mm-hmm.
You
you
know
can
what?
separate your feelings from certain
What's
things.
really
You know what I mean?
interesting to me is when you look at yourself. One thing I think people don't understand is looking at themselves while they're single, right?
Mm-hmm.
People when they're single, they're focused on going out to get what it is that they want, right? They're focused on the dating to go get the thing. So they're not really focused on where I feel good, what I feel is okay, where my where my happy endorphins come from, where do I feel
Mm-hmm.
calm and at peace, right? You know, people don't really pay attention to that in themselves. So I feel like the person, if you're a kind of person that when you're single, you're not content, you're all over the place and you're dating all over the place and you're like that, that is part of who you are. We all can be different. We all wear different hats. But when you're a person that likes lots of social this and you like to date multiple people and you like to, you're really just choosing to settle down with someone, but it's not really who you are. That's just my opinion. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like you can choose, just like you can choose to be a vegetarian, right? But it's not really, it's a choice, but it's not really all of you. Like, no, I do like chicken. I'm just choosing not to eat it.
Like
So I
giggles.
think that's right.
I'm dead.
But like that's really, to me, that's really the concept. Like I know that, and when I tell somebody I'm not monogamous, when I first started telling people that, their instinct
Mm-hmm.
was, you want to go be a hoe. I had not had sex for 2 years, but I'm saying I'm not
Right.
monogamous because I know myself, as in I'm
Mm-hmm.
not locking myself down to nobody right now because I don't, and or ever, because I don't know. I know me enough to know I don't know what I'm going to feel like in 2 years. I may feel like
Mm-hmm.
this about you today, and I can meet somebody tomorrow. I done experimented with some girls. I done did I done did some stuff, and I want to keep that option open. So I
Mm-hmm.
know I'm not monogamous because I don't want that option to be closed. I don't
Right.
want that to be closed. So even if it has nothing to do with me dating, not dating, sleeping with someone, not sleeping with, that doesn't even matter. It literally is because I know that I want my option open. I can be non-monogamous and still have no partners. And people
Right.
don't understand that.
Right. That was part of my second question. Like, I was wondering if people ever think or ever say to you, "I can change you,"
Oh,
you know,
100%.
or
100%. Oh,
think that
100
they'll be
times.
the person to make you change your mind.
They
Oh, 100
blame it.
times.
They blame it on us not either growing. They think that we wasn't raised with our fathers or a past trauma. Like who did it? Who broke your heart? What?
Right,
How
because
about we
they
just
think
had?
it's a stigma of all women are the same, and that's where they look at it like, oh, a woman I wants a relationship because she's insecure or she's needy or she's
Mm.
codependent, and there's a stigma. It's like, no, that's not it, and that's why I said I had my daddy and I still got him. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my daddy fine, and
So
it isn't because of trauma. It's I learned myself. I sat with myself and learned like, oh, I'm
Mm.
happy when I'm like this.
Right. Like
so
with
I
me.
wanna I wanna say
Oh,
this. I wanna say this real quick because
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna let Basic finish the show out because I got ready to get out of this car and get all my stuff ready. And
Mhm.
I want to focus. Um this is the biggest dating lesson that you could possibly learn. Like, you got to deal with people who, um, it's crazy in this new generation. I know a lot of people still go to the old rules and those things like the of the past, but those things do not no longer exist. This is just the knowledge that I'm just trying to spread. That shit don't exist no more. To think of the same way that we did in the 60s, 50s, 70s, and
Exactly.
80s, one, it never was for us. Two, we're trying to adopt something that don't really exist. You got to really, really think about
Agreed.
it. As much as people talk about money and what expectations they have and all that, it's going to be a while before you find your person, because the average person do not make what I make a year, what Mel makes a year, what y'all make a year, that for the things that y'all want. So like,
Right.
most of the time, to me, if women or men are asking for a person that has a certain level of stature in their life, it's because you already got that stature in life. So you
Mm.
can't. So when it comes to the dating, we can't think on those old terms of somebody's going to take care of me. You just can't fucking do it. It don't exist. It shouldn't exist, because you got to do your relationship the way it works for y'all. If this is how it's going to work, and what I mean by work for y'all is, if paying bills this way is how it works, then paying bills this way works that way. You know what I mean? Like, regardless if it's you paying or somebody else paying or whoever else it is, this is how y'all take care of each other. Because at the end of the day, we want to all date, but we always talk about the material things that come along with it. You're never talking about what is actually making you happy and satisfied.
Right.
You know
And
what I mean?
nobody
Like,
really thinks about that. Right. That's
and
what I'm saying.
nobody really thinks about that
And
at
what's
all.
crazy is that everybody has, like, the way that the world works is everybody doesn't have the brain to be a doctor. Everybody doesn't have the brain to be a veterinarian. Everybody doesn't have the brain or the capacity to be a teacher.
Yeah.
Everybody is not a marine biologist. Everybody is not maternal or paternal. Everybody does not. So the fact that we think that relationships go one way is crazy, because everybody can't sing. Everybody doesn't have rhythm. Everybody can't play an instrument. We literally have so many different things that are in our personalities, that to think that it's a one size fits all is wild to me. That's why I
Yeah.
said I don't believe more so in marriage, but partnership, because a marriage tells you who to be. A marriage comes with rules, roles, and an expectation. A partnership is something you guys can go back to the table over and over again and recreate. You can renegotiate the terms. You can say you're gonna leave for this amount of time, and then I'm gonna sit back, and then you're gonna leave for this amount of time, and then I'm gonna sit back. I feel like a partnership is more fluid and more tailored to the people, and a marriage is like, you're supposed to take the trash and you're supposed to make the cookies, and outside of that we're gonna have a problem. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? And it just, to me, we
And
shouldn't
that's
have that
just mother.
stigma. Huh?
Huh?
Right, but
Huh?
but also to say, like, you're right about that in many ways, but I also feel like maturely people who might choose marriage, um, it depends on how you define what marriage is to you. I think traditionally, in a sense, that's what marriage is. Like, you do this, I do this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In a marriage, it
Right.
comes with, like, yeah, traditionally, that's what I'm saying. Like, traditionally,
Yeah.
it comes with this: you do this, you do this. If the man ain't doing these things, he's not a good man. If the woman doesn't do it like this, like, there's really good women that don't know how or don't care to cook, but
Ladies,
that
I'm about to
doesn't
jump
make
off.
her
I'm
okay.
about to jump off. I just wanted to say, thank y'all for coming through. Of course,
No problem.
I will be talking to y'all in a few. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh,
Please
my
come back.
box is open.
Please come
I'm
back,
done.
y'all.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. Bye
Please
bye.
come back, y'all.
I like
But
messing with
All right.
Mike.
I will
Bye,
talk.
Mike.
I'll be in the comments. So,
Bye,
Okay.
Mike.
all right, see y'all.
But I feel like that's where I feel like what I mean. That's what I mean by the traditional setup of marriage. It comes with rules and an expectation. It doesn't leave much room to
Okay.
grow. It doesn't leave much room for nothing. I know that it's not for me. I'm like, partnership doesn't bother me. Relationships don't bother me. But coming with an expectation in a rule book, that bothers me.
Maybe you could have like a conversation when it comes like before saying I do, because people need
I
to.
don't.
People can't live in the
She said she
past.
doesn't personally.
I
Right.
don't.
Like,
My I do is I don't. I am not.
because some
But you
people
know,
like really think
Let's make
getting
it a two-step.
married is like, you know.
I think that though, and what I always try to say here is and it's important because I know Mike at some point, Mike and I are going to do different shows that both talk about what a successful monogamous relationship will look like and successful poly relationships will look like. But I also firmly believe, and I think like someone was kind of saying this, we have to be able to understand that different relationship forms exist for different people, and just because it doesn't fit what you want doesn't mean that it's wrong. And I think
Right.
that sometimes that people run into that, like if you meet someone that you're interested in and they live a lifestyle or they have a preference that works for them, that doesn't mean that they're wrong. It's just what works best for them, right? Some people feel
Right.
more comfortable in that space, and we have to be able to accept that. It's crazy to think that like a person be like, oh, that's going to change. I can change that. Not if that's not what that person wants for them. Like if
Right.
that's not what they want, if that's not what they want their life to look like, if that's not what they see in the future,
You
then
know what I
that's
used to
okay.
say? What was funny is, you know what I would say to men that were like seriously trying to come at me and they would say the things
Mhm.
of whatever. I would say, what are you going to do? Like they would say, if a man does this and a man does that and blah, blah, blah. And they would give me all the spiels of what they think that a woman would want to hear and tell me that I have these characteristics that will fit this thing and I can do it if I get treated right. I said, what are you going to do about me not wanting to be a wife?
Yeah.
What are you going to do about that part? How are you going to make me want to be a wife? And then it's always
Right.
like, well, what do you mean you don't want to? Yeah, I don't want to be a wife.
Right.
I
Not
don't find
everyone
that
wants to
I
be
don't
one.
find that role appealing at all. I don't enjoy it. So what are you going to
Yeah.
do about that part? And then it's kind of like, oh, well, why would you not want to be a wife? I said, because I don't enjoy the role. I like being a
Right.
girlfriend. I find
I
that
think
fun.
most men think that every woman
Only they
wants to be a
benefit from
wife.
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Only men really benefit from that part. But for me, I'm like, I don't enjoy that. I like being a girlfriend. I enjoy the lighter part of the relationship. I don't like feeling, and that's why I said in the traditional setting, not in a regular, like not in a non-traditional way, but in a traditional way, I don't enjoy that type of role. I do not find it fun. So that's where I'm like, it feels like a job and I don't like it. And I don't want my romantic relationships to feel like work. I know that's like a stigma. People think that it's supposed to be working on it and working on it. I don't want to feel like it's work. I'm okay with communication. I'm okay with a disagreement. But once it feels like I am tearing myself apart, you're tearing yourself apart, we got to be in counseling, therapy, and in church to keep it together. I don't want it. If it takes Jesus for me and you to stay together, you can keep it. I don't want it. I want to do it
Right.
just because it feels good.
Yeah.
So yeah, men will definitely tell me that I can change you. It's the right. And my answer is always like, what are you gonna do about me not wanting to be a wife? What are you gonna do to make
Right.
me not like? I enjoy being non-monogamous. What you gonna do about that part? And they're
Yeah.
like, oh well, yeah, because you think that I'm just waiting for my knight in shining armor. I'm not.
Right. It's maybe you
I'm
just
not.
need to move. Like you should be like maybe you just need to move on to somebody who does fit or does want what you're
Right.
looking
Like
for.
go get that. But you know what's funny?
But don't.
I find that in my life a lot. Like I've had men slide in my DMs. Your energy is so dope. A woman that knows what she wants and is unapologetic and da-da-da. Like when I tell you I get that all day, just for them to say, but I want to turn you into the traditional woman I don't like.
Right. That's crazy.
It happens to me all the time.
But
I
let me
love how
change
free
you.
you are. I love how this is opinionated you are. And oh my God, you're like a breath of fresh air. But I'm gonna need you to sit down when I
Right. Right. I'm gonna
and
need
I'm
you to
like,
settle
wait,
down.
But
yeah, I'm
why do
gonna
we
need you to
have to
only be
change just to get that, like The Rock?
You should.
because
Well,
what
It's
that's the
they
like
thing.
that.
You shouldn't have to. I feel like there should be a person who, like, if that's not who you are,
Right,
idealistically, the person that you're supposed to be with is not somebody who's going to want to alter who you are. There are
right.
people
right,
who will want to alter who you are to make you fit what their mold is,
right. And that's
what
what most
they
people
want you to
do.
be.
Yeah, and that's what most people do. They get into it and they give you a list of rules instead of watching and seeing if you fit that. Like, don't get a girlfriend that dresses provocatively and then tell her to go put on some sweats. How about you date the girl that dresses modestly and let her be herself? That way you're not
Right.
ever having a conversation about how she dresses because you already
Exactly.
like the way she naturally dresses. Don't
Mm-hmm.
go towards the woman that you're going to have to change. Why do you need to
Yeah.
do that? And
Right.
a lot of times, men and women, they go against what they who they really are, what they really want for a
Right.
specific person, and then it fails to me because it doesn't make sense to be with somebody that doesn't have you in your totality. Not for real.
I don't think anybody should change, or like for a man, because how if the man don't work out?
Or
It's
a woman, or a woman,
Right.
because men do
or a
it too.
woman, or a woman,
Men will
right?
pretend to be what that woman wants to get a
Mm-hmm.
thing, to have, and you will see a struggle. And I always say, give it a year. You will start to see the struggle
Yeah,
Yeah.
of him saying, oh yeah, I'm fine with you going to your mama house, and then I'm not fine. And do you have to go there all the time? And it slowly, and you
Yeah.
have to give it the time. And now you're like, wait, I told you I go to my mama's house every Sunday. You were cool with it for the last 8 months. Now all of a sudden, and now you smacking your teeth because I'm going to my mama's house on Sunday. Like, you know
Right.
that that's who I am. And men will do that. Men will be like, okay, I'm fine. Okay, I'm fine. And they're not. Women do the same. I'm fine. It's okay. Your homegirl don't bother me, and I'm okay with you, going outside. And then a couple months later, it's well, why do you always have to go? So it changes, and men and women try to be what the other person wants them to be to have the relationship. And to me, that's all. It's automatically doomed to fail. Like, you got to be yourself for anything to work.
So real quick, one of the guys who I'm talking to, I told Salty about this. He knew I had a TikTok, and I explained to him my name is Fantasy on TikTok, blah blah blah, and he was like, "Oh, I want to see." I was like, "Go ahead, it's open to the public because of my platform, right?" So he saw it. And he came back, like he called me on video, and he had a face, and I'm like, "You didn't like my TikToks?" He was like, he was talking about house.
I bet that's what I was gonna say. I bet that looked real crazy.
So the video where I'm laying back and House is like tickling me or talking to whatever he's doing, he was like, I don't mind you doing a TikTok. However, you doing a TikTok where a man is over you, I don't appreciate that. I said, first of all, do you see my platform number? I said, that's never going to change. I said, one, that's never going to change. Two, that guy in that video is one of my friends. And he was here before you got here. And that's never going to change.
So why do y'all think that I put the video of the 4 guys at the top of my page?
What I said was, wherever you see a circle, that group of people is not going to change. They're always going to be in my life because when I went through what I went through with my daughter, those people with the red circle were there for me. So why would I change them because you feel in some type of way? If you don't like it, my mans, you have a choice.
My mans, you got a choice.
My mans.
I was like, I'm going to give you a day or two to think about it. And he called me this morning. He was like, I thought about it and, I would love to meet them one day. I'm like, sure, whenever.
Right, whenever.
But you will have to make me your woman first because I'm not going to introduce you to my friends and you just a fling. That's dope.
Right. No, not for real. Right. Not if it ain't for real. But yeah, I feel like that's, I think a lot of time people do that.
Also, I think to an extent, people start to think that you didn't have a life before you met them.
Right.
Right. You living life before you met them. That's not.
He's going to be real mad when I get my tattoo.
I'm dead. I'm so dead. But like, I honestly feel like it is, I know that it's uncomfortable. It's funny. I told Magic this and because, Magic is, actively dating. Magic's never been married and has no kids. And so every time I tell him that, I say, Magic, you're going to have to live the life that you want to continue living. Don't start something. And I'm talking about within yourself, not just for her. I'm not talking about flowers or nothing like that. I'm saying, don't start being somebody that you're not, that you can't keep up, because that is what ends up happening is we mold ourselves. It's kind of like an automatic thing. When you like somebody, you want them to accept you. And so you want to be that version of yourself for them. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to, it's very easy for us to fall into, well, she likes this, so I'm gonna start doing this, and he likes that, so I'm gonna start doing that. It's so easy because dopamine makes us stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's literally like crack in the brain. You're excited, you're high all the time, and you're just like, oh, I just want this feeling to never go away. And so you morph yourself into that person. And then when them endorphins wear off and you're no longer high, you've messed up the foundation. And that to me is where a lot of people aren't monogamous. A lot of people aren't really supposed to be parents. A lot of people don't like a lot of things. A lot of people need a lot more space than they lead on. Like, because their boyfriend is clingy, they say, oh yeah, I'm okay with you being around, knowing that you need your damn space. Knowing when you at home, you like, I need everybody to get out of here. I need my space. Yeah. But now that you have a clingy boyfriend, you're like, no, it's okay if you're over here every day. Because you want to keep the boyfriend, and knowing you're really dying on the inside because you're like, he's been in 15 days and I love him and I don't want him to leave me, but I'm dying right now. And you just take it. And then just as far as a man too, like where your girlfriend is like, I want to go everywhere with you. And he's like, yeah, kind of like doing this with my boys. Like it's not. And instead of saying, hey, I need my space up front because you want to keep the girl, you end up doing what you try to morph yourself or conform to that person and mold yourself to that person. And that's not even who you are. And
but
then
that's why people should be real with it from the beginning.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't. We walk into it like, I want this person to like me. I want to be accepted, because that's like a human thing. We just want to be accepted and loved on. And so we're
Right.
willing to do it while we're high. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's cute when they're
Right.
jealous in the beginning, when you're high, and you're like, oh, it's so cute. He don't want me to look at nothing and nobody. That's so cute. He likes me so much. And then a year, 2 years in, he's like, you like, God damn, it's the fucking mailman. I just went to get the mail. He don't want me looking at nobody. You know what I'm saying? You're like, God damn. Now you're like freaking out because it was cute. You know, jealousy is cute at first. You know what I'm saying? That whole overly protective and all that other stuff is cute at first, until they're telling you, like, why are you going to your mama's house, and why do you have to go with your friends at brunch, and why do you have to wear that, and it starts to become
No, that's a problem.
different when you get past the initial stuff. So that's why, like, you have to consciously make yourself be yourself, because it's really hard to not fall into, like, literally the concept of falling in love. You're falling, you're stupid, you know what I'm saying, and you're supposed to be stupid. You feel it feels too good to not feel stupid, but you have to always bring that back to your own mind. Like, yeah, I can't keep this up because this is not really, you know, it's cute, but this ain't really me.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard.
Okay, next question.
Okay, I got two more
I'm
questions,
dead.
but they're more lighthearted questions, so we won't have to go like into deep depth. Even though this has been like, I said depth, I meant depth. Depth. Am I
Depth.
saying that right?
Depth.
Depth.
Is that you have a lisp. You
Depth.
can't say
I
it right,
have a
but you
list
said it right.
and it's
Not a
difficult.
lisp.
I
She
do.
does. She
She's
has a
right.
lisp.
I have a
It's the
list,
cutest
but
thing in the world. It's so cute. But go ahead.
Oh.
My next question is, okay, which one do I want to ask? Okay, let's do this. This is cute. For each one of you, what is your ideal, like your idea of like the perfect opportunity to meet somebody? Like, what is your ideal date? If you're meeting someone for the first time and you want to get to know them, what is the situation you're looking for? Like, how do they set the mood? What scene are you looking for? I'll go first.
Just
So
put
y'all
the
can
dick
say.
on my shoulder.
Oh,
Oh
all
my
right.
Okay.
God.
All
We
right.
are
We're not
not.
doing
You
this.
are
All right.
not getting to know them with the dick on your shoulder. That is
Oh,
not the
not
case.
like that. Okay, without that.
No.
Okay.
So this is
I'm
me.
so weak.
I need it very laid back, right? I can't feel like high stress, high pressure. You can take me out for some tequila and some tacos. It can be a little noisy. As long as we have an opportunity to talk, I can't feel pressure. If I feel pressure, it's going to make me feel uptight and you will not get to know me because I will shut down. So I need it to be the most laid back situation possible. Even if it's like too much pressure, like I got to think too much of what I have on or feels too serious, I need to feel comfortable in a space. So it can't be like, it can't be too serious. You know what I mean? It has to feel just sort of laid back and casual and fun
Yeah,
for
like
me.
something for like bowling or drinks and wings, hookah.
Yeah.
You know, things that I like to do and you like to do. Like let's talk about it. You know.
Right. Yeah. I would like a laid back situation too. I don't think I need somewhere where we can talk and actually hear each other.
Right.
And somewhere that I can see I'm very big on people's mannerisms. So I need to see you moving around. I want to see you walking around. So
Right.
like we can literally go to the beach and walk around and, you know, grab
Yeah.
something to eat. We can literally
Yeah.
do something very laid back, but I want to see your mannerisms. Like I want to be able to see how you move and how, like, if that flows. So like I said, a walk or just going to the beach or something, like you said, wings and, you know what I'm saying, and a drink or tacos
Yeah.
and just chilling.
Right.
That's my idea too, because I want to talk. I need to be able to hear
Right.
you and interact.
I will say like one of my best dates that I'd ever been on. We went to a Mexican restaurant and we ended up sitting there talking until after, like they'd already closed on us because we had talked for so long. But it was just such a chill like vibe. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right,
It
Yeah.
was
right.
we had opportunity to talk. There was no pressure. There was people around, but we were able to talk and we got so wrapped up in the conversation we didn't even realize that they were closing it down. But it was just it was the
It's
perfect
intimate.
kind of right. It was the perfect setting where there wasn't a lot of pressure. I got to see you in a very natural element where you're not trying to give me like this kind of stuffy dress up facade because you're trying to overly impress me. And it
Right.
made everything feel that much more comfortable because then we can really talk.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
What about
Mel,
you, Mel?
what was yours, Mel?
So I'm like a mix. So I
Okay.
do like the whole tell me to meet you at 8, have me dress up, you know, princess treatment. But then I also like to do fun shit. Like you gotta have a whole day pack really of stuff
Okay.
to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm
Like
about to say Mel is busybody. She want to be outside.
we
Right,
want to
right,
go
right, right.
here. I want to go to the gun range. I want to do this. Like I want to do the
Yeah.
fun stuff, and then I still want to dress up and be like, okay,
Right.
We were
Do
out.
you
Yeah,
feel
because
like for
she
you,
loves to dress
the
up.
more effort that he
Loves to
puts
dress.
into the planning, the more you feel like he is interested?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't put no effort in, I'm probably not going.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. She probably would prefer it that way. But you know what the funny thing is to me with that is I don't know. I think I have to already like you for the effort. That's the weird thing. So like
Mm,
if we've been talking on the phone for a long time and I like you, then yeah, I want the effort. But
right.
like if I don't, so let's say like we talked a couple times and you're like, I want to take you out and we go.
Yeah.
I don't even that automatically feels like pressure because I feel like I didn't know you yet and I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
dress up. I don't now I feel like it's too much. I got to think about too much. But if I'm
Right.
like I feel like I have to like you to get excited, to get dressed up, to go out. Like that's how
Yeah.
I want to feel like, oh, I like him. So I want to put on all this cute stuff. But if I don't like you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna feel like, yeah, you're gonna get these jeans and leave me alone. You gonna get these jeans and let's eat these tacos because I don't care. Like I
Wait
don't
a
like you yet
minute. Why
to care
are we
about what
going
you
out
think.
with people we don't like?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it depends on how long. That's what I'm saying. It depends on how long. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't really date. You get what I'm saying? So anybody I'm
Right.
going to go eat with, I know them. Like,
Don't
I
date.
know them.
She takes flights.
Right. I know them already. So
Ooh.
that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, but there's some people that like, you talk to the guy and like you said, he could be meet me outside or meet me at 8. Like people do that. Like they'll meet somebody online or wherever and 2-3 conversations in, they gone. They ready to go out and meet. And I don't do that.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
do that. I do that.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm not dressing up for that. If I did that, that's the one I'm not dressing up
Right.
for because I don't like you.
So
Oh
here's the last question.
wow.
Oh, she said, "Oh wow." Here's the last question. On a date, and specifically on a first date, we'll limit it to the first date. Should the man pay, or are we both paying for ourselves separately? Or does it matter who asked who out first?
He paying.
He paying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this the only way that if it's a first date, like your date, you want to go on a date,
Mm-hmm.
I'ma pay if I don't want to see you again.
There you go.
Definitely.
There you
Definitely.
go.
Because
Right.
I don't want you to be
Absolutely.
like, oh, I took her here. Like,
Absolutely.
Talk shit to his boys. Yeah.
it's good. I
Absolutely. Listen,
I'll
if
pay
you
myself
if I
to
know
go.
I don't want to see you again, I'm gonna pay. I'm paying for that meal myself.
Right. Right. If I know I don't want to see you, yeah. But like
Right.
in overall, it does. See, that's what I'm saying. I feel like initially,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that women should definitely show interest, but I
Yes.
definitely believe that in most cases the man is asking the woman out, right?
Yeah.
So if he's asking to take you a certain place, then I believe that he should have the intent to pay. Like
Mm-hmm.
whether I want to pay or not, whether I offer to pay or not, it doesn't really matter. You should have the intent to pay
Mm-hmm.
for it. I can have my option, but you should be paying for it. Now, once we're dating, like this is continuous. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
got you. I'll get you and I'll do that back. But
Right.
that initial thing, nah, you should have it.
Right. Yeah, you
Have you
Again,
should.
seen
unless I
those
don't like you.
TikToks where have you seen the TikToks like where they're at a restaurant and he'll be like, "Am I getting something tonight?" And she'll be like, "Nah," and he'll be like, "All right, we'll go ahead and split this check." Have y'all seen those?
Yes,
Oh
I
yeah, I
saw
seen
that.
that.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
Like,
that's
all
mean,
right
cool
now.
too. Like, it don't bother me because I'm not going out on a date if I don't have the money for it, right? So it's
Oh
like
my god.
I don't care.
right. I feel like the man's intent though. Like I have a problem with the intent of you should have thought if you asked me to go out or even if I asked you out and
Depends
Yeah.
you
on.
don't have the money to go, I just what are we doing? That's why when I was
Right.
saying earlier about the being broke and doing that, like
Mm-hmm.
when you spend time with people, even platonically, it sucks to be the person that always has to dish or always is receiving or always is a thing. In order to be social, you have to have some money. So that concept of being broke. So you mean all your dates are going to be in the house with ramen? Like, is that what we're saying? Because we want to find love? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, no, at this point, you need to be doing something. I don't believe in dating when you're broke. Like, that's not,
Right.
I definitely don't think that's a thing.
Yeah. True. I get it. Well, ladies, we're like 6 minutes in, but we can go ahead and I actually have to get on the road in a minute because I'm going back to my parents' house for church tomorrow. I think my mom asked me to come to. Yeah, that's what
Uh-uh.
I'm doing. All my sisters, we all packing up in cars and driving down. But I thank y'all for coming
Not a problem.
and joining me and talking. This has been
Enjoyed
fun.
it.
Wait, before we go, Mac can always do this thing. everybody tell everyone where they can find you on your socials.
My salty love everywhere.
Yes.
Fantasy is a Savage on TikTok. You already know who I am. The support team.
Mel.
Oh wow. I am melanin.and.honey.
And
Everywhere.
I am at just basically _basic_Lee everywhere. Same thing. Find me everywhere.
Well, there we go.
I'm different places on Instagram and Facebook, but you don't need to find me there. Just keep it to
Oh my
TikTok.
god. You don't
Nah,
need to
I'm
find
not.
me there.
Right,
You
right,
won't find me
right.
on Facebook.
But I thank you
Yeah.
ladies for popping in and talking. This has been a
No
really good
problem.
conversation. Please come back in and join. I don't know if Mike's gonna want to do spicy again
course.
next week. We'll see. Mike would love to throw a good spicy weekend.
Woo,
Oh,
I'm here
woo.
for the
He
fight.
love for it to get wild.
I'm here
We
for the
did.
I'm
fight.
here for
We
it.
did 2 in a row. Last week's and the week
Yep,
before
you
that.
did.
Both was crazy. We did 2 in a row. So we probably will end up throwing it back in for this next week. And y'all are welcome
Okay.
to come and join. But thank you, ladies.
Absolutely.
I'm about to pack an overnight bag and hop on the road. I will see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.